Life often hides extraordinary stories in the most ordinary people. Behind the quiet footsteps of a janitor, behind the broom and the mop, there can be strength, sacrifice, and love so deep it can move even the coldest of hearts. This is the story of a single dad janitor who was secretly followed by his CEO. And what she discovered not only changed her view of him, but changed both of their lives forever. Ethan was a quiet man. Every evening, while the corporate world rushed home, in their expensive cars, he stayed behind in the towering office building, sweeping floors and emptying trash bins. Most people barely noticed him. To them, he was invisible, the man in the uniform, the janitor who worked late nights. But behind his tired eyes was a story of hardship and sacrifice. Ethan was a single father to a little girl named Lily. His wife had passed away years ago, and since then, he had been both father and mother to Lily. Every penny he earned went toward her schooling, her clothes, and her dreams. He didn't complain about long hours or aching knees. All he cared about was giving Lily a better life than the one he had known. But in the same building where Ethan worked sat the office of Victoria Sterling, the CEO of the company. She was known as a strong, no-nonsense leader, wealthy beyond measure, with little time for anything but business. People admired her success, but whispered about her cold demeanor. She believed efficiency was everything and rarely bothered to look at those working in the shadows. One evening, long after most employees had left, Victoria stayed late in her office. From her glass window, she noticed Ethan quietly mopping the floors. Something about his expression caught her attention. He didn't look bitter or resentful. Instead, he looked focused, almost proud of his work. But then she noticed something strange. When his shift ended, instead of going home, like others, he left the building and walked briskly down the street, carrying a small paper bag. Curiosity tugged at Victoria. Why did this man, exhausted after a long day, look so determined after work? Against her usual instincts, she decided to follow him. Dressed in plain clothes, she kept her distance as Ethan walked through quieter neighborhoods, past closed shops, and finally stopped at a small community center. What she saw next made her pause. Inside, children sat around worn tables with books open in front of them. Ethan stepped inside, greeted warmly by the kids, and began tutoring them in math and reading. His tired face lit up as he patiently explained equations, encouraging each child with kindness. It wasn't just his daughter, Lily, sitting among them. There were other children too, kids from struggling families who couldn't afford tutors. Victoria stood by the doorway, hidden in the shadows, watching in disbelief. The janitor who swept her floors by night was a teacher by heart, giving his time freely to help children succeed. The next day, Victoria couldn't shake the image from her mind. For the first time, she looked at Ethan differently. That evening, she followed him again. This time, after the tutoring session ended, she saw him take Lily's hand and walk her home. Their house was small, almost falling apart, but inside, there was warmth. She saw him cook a simple meal for her, help with homework, and tuck her into bed with a bedtime story. The walls might have been cracked, but the love inside that home was unshakable. Victoria returned home that night troubled. She had always believed wealth and power defined success. Yet here was a man with nothing, no status, no riches, but he gave more than most people she knew. His strength wasn't in his bank account, it was in his heart. The following week, Victoria called Ethan into her office. Nervous, he arrived, unsure why the CEO wanted to see him. He stood awkwardly in his janitor's uniform, holding his cap in his hands. "Ethan," Victoria began, her tone softer than usual, "I've noticed your work. Not just here, but outside of this building." Ethan's heart raced. Did she know about the community center? Was he in trouble for spending time there? But then Victoria continued, "I followed you. I saw what you do for those children, including your daughter, and I must say, I've never been more impressed. Ethan's face turned pale with shock. "You followed me?" he asked. "Yes," Victoria admitted. "And I discovered something about you that I think the world needs to see. You're not just a janitor. You're a father, a teacher, and a leader. You've done more with less than most people do with everything." Tears welled in Ethan's eyes. No one had ever recognized his sacrifices before. He had lived in silence, working 2 lives. Janitor by night, teacher and father by heart. Victoria leaned forward. "I want to help you. I want to fund the community center so you can expand your work. I want to ensure your daughter has every opportunity she deserves. And I want you to join our company in a new role, head of community outreach. You have a gift for inspiring others, and I'd be honored if you used it here." Ethan was speechless. His throat tightened as he whispered, "Why me? I'm just nobody." Victoria smiled, a rare warmth in her expression. "You're not nobody. You're exactly the kind of person this world needs more of, and I don't want your story to remain hidden." That day marked a turning point in Ethan's life. No longer invisible, no longer just the man sweeping floors, he was recognized for the hero he truly was. With Victoria's support, the community center grew. More children came, and with proper resources, Ethan could teach and inspire on a larger scale. His daughter Lily thrived, attending one of the best schools in the city with a scholarship provided by Victoria herself. As for Victoria, the experience changed her as well. She had spent years building wealth but had never truly felt fulfilled. Watching Ethan taught her that leadership wasn't just about profits, it was about people. She became more compassionate, more connected, and more human in the eyes of her employees. Ethan and Victoria's paths, once so different, now intertwined in a way neither could have predicted. The janitor she once overlooked had become a reminder that greatness isn't always found in corner offices or luxury cars. Sometimes, it's hidden in the quiet sacrifices of ordinary people. And so, the single dad janitor, who was secretly followed by his CEO, not only gained recognition, but changed the heart of a powerful woman. Together, they proved that the smallest acts of love and dedication can create the biggest changes in the world. The lesson is simple. Never underestimate the unseen struggles of those around you. Sometimes the people we overlook are carrying the heaviest burdens, and sometimes they are also the ones with the greatest strength. Ethan's story reminds us all that true success isn't measured by wealth or titles, but by the lives we touch and the love we give. And that is why the CEO who secretly followed her janitor ended up discovering a man whose quiet sacrifices changed everything, for her, for him, and for everyone who believed in the power of kindness.